Right, away we go.
Why does everyone laugh at my voice? I didn't get saddled with it through choice. I could be a great writer like James Joyce, but you bastards would just laugh at my voice. I could write a novel like Robinson Crusoe, create comic characters like Inspector Clouseau. I would still be constantly traduced there. If I asked you to listen, no one would do so. Because all you can see is my weak points and faults, my characteristics not being the default for a human being of my size and bulk. First impressions count for more than results. It's really upsetting and more than annoying. It's totally fucking soul destroying. So if you see me huddled in a corner crying, you're partly to blame, there's no denying. Because you're a bolshy bastard with a tiny dick, with fewer brain cells than a selfie stick. I think your mum smashed your head with a brick, and your breath smells so shitty, it makes me feel sick. So fuck off, wanker.
Thank you. Yeah, so now I've set the tone for the evening at a certain level. I'll now try and repair the damage for the rest of the set. So yeah, like some of the poems I'm going to do, they are going to, one or two phrases are going to need a little bit of explanation for overseas listeners. So the first one of which is that in this one, I refer to the Black Country, which is an area just outside Birmingham where I'm from. It actually got its name from the Industrial Revolution and all the smoke, and it's got a very distinctive dialect, a bit like mine, but a lot stronger, and with a lot of localized words, one of which is busting. Now, busting means brilliant or very good. So just put that in context for the poem. And this poem is, I want you to imagine what would happen if every time you read a typo or misheard something, the world magically changed. So what you typed or read or what you thought you heard became reality by magic. And this is a rather random take on what would happen if every single typed mistake changed the world to fit its template. If one letter omitted or added, any others changed or out of place, had a consequence for the human race. Like Art Carbuncle singing, "I only have ease for you," may not endear him to the Tory party when most prefer snorting Charlie. Yet he was partly responsible for the sound of violence. Here's to you, Mrs. Robinsod, and bridge over troubled Walter. His weirdness never seemed to falter out. I don't know why Walter is troubled or even who he is, but it seems somewhat harsh to stick him under a bridge. We could have some wonderful movies, as if the originals needed improving, like 101 Damnations, a hell of a film, I'm sure you'll agree. Then the 39 Sheps, where Cruella decided a change of breed would just as well fulfill her need. Joseph and his amazing testicular dreamboat, whatever that may be about. And Inglorious Bat Turds, about a flying mammal that met Ozzy Osbourne and crapped itself with nerves. We would have criminal Spice Girls called Felony B and Felony C. Muse singing about a supermassive asshole. And that's not all. Kids would hear Humpty Dumpty shat on the wall. There will be a Black Country killer called the Boston Strangler, and Gordon Brown is a song by the Danglers. A bit of hard work never hurt anyone, though this I doubt, one over the head and your lights would be out. A bird in the hand is worth two on the bus, I concede. A friend in need is a fiend indeed. Liverpool fans singing, "You'll never wank alone." The butcher giving his dog a boner. Putin interfered in Trump's erection and probably caused a nasty infection. And I heard Harry Potter's goblet of fire appeared to be up for hire. How much? If you ever have to ask the prick, you can't afford it, Squire. Now, I think this poem's the dog's bollocks. Others will call it puppycock. But on one thing we can all agree. Too many cocks really do spoil the broth. And you could end up with a meal of Wanker's crisp sandwiches and a packet of clitoris all sorts. Thank you very much. Yeah, so yeah, that's what happens, when all these typos become real. Your friends become fiends and so on, So yeah, the next one is a couple of years old now, and I actually wrote it as I was emerging from a spell of depression, which we all get from time to time. But yeah, I actually woke up in the middle of the night with this thought of, I wish I could buy myself a new personality. And this poem was born, and its title is An As Yet Untitled Bit of 4 a.m. Can't Sleep Madness, open brackets. Yes, that is now the title, close brackets. And as that's now been the title for 2 years, I guess it's not going to change. So, yeah, Saturday morning. My thoughts a mess as I tried to guess the best scenario of how the day would play. I tried to say I knew the way, that everything would be okay, but was talking shit with no one listening anyway. My demeanour was 50 shades of grey, but not in that badly written, kinky kind of way. No, grey, as in dullard, uninteresting, where the greatest thing about me is I make a smashing pot of tea. But I drink it all myself, of course, because an hour with me is the road to insanity, bored out your skull and yelling profanities, staggering and dazed like a wasp smashing brains against double glazed panes in a desperate effort to flee. Saturday afternoon, no clue what to do, no canny plan, no direction, and upon reflection, no hope of being a popular man. So I stole a camper van, had this idea to drive to IKEA, ditch tedious banality, and buy myself a Swedish personality to put together when I got it back to my rather less than immaculate flat, which stank of cat piss and cannabis. Now, I'm not a fan of this pre-prepared cack, cheap crap flat pack bought by sad saps who think it good form to conform to a boring norm like Norman and Norma Normal, or the Swedish-born Bjorn and Leona Nyormelberg. But it's what people like, and I need to be like, so I prepared to reveal a brilliant light of the shining new me with the ready-made personality. Let everyone see how good I can be with the flaws tucked away behind doors and ignored. But it didn't quite go as expected. When the finished product was inspected, there were a few loose screws and some bits that refused to fit anywhere. Misfits, like size 12 feet in size 7 shoes, and soon I made the local news as the guy who was beyond to lose, the desperate Dan, who failed as a man, found guilty of stealing a camper van. Thank you very much. Right, the next one, yeah, anybody that knows me knows I'm not a great fan of the royal family. I'm really not a great fan of the royal family, but she's the queen, everything else. And so, yeah. Now, one thing that needs explaining in this poem is the expression that I use. And I sort of put it out on Facebook the other day. Would this be recognised internationally? And the very resounding answer was, it's hardly recognised in Britain, you dumb prat. So, sending someone to Coventry is like ignoring them or just totally ostracising them and not speaking to them. So, yeah, and everybody knows, or not everybody knows, because not everybody's interested, but the Queen is a big fan of horse racing. And she's won a lot of big races as an owner, but she's never won the Derby. And is it going to happen? Who knows? But you might find out in the next couple of minutes. This is called Derby Day. So picture the scene. Civil List, a horse owned by Her Majesty the Queen, is running in the Epsom Derby, and she can hardly contain her excitement as she senses an appointment with destiny. This is the one she's always coveted, the one she's yearned for with intensity, but it seemed the chance had been missed. Now, her horse, named after Franz Liszt and nothing to do with royal benefits, is one of the hottest ever favourites. The horses are going in the starting stalls, and she gives her husband Philip a call. He had, as so often, been a silly old duffer, and his chances of being there were properly scuppered because Lizzie had sent him to Coventry. But she relented with a running commentary, and it went like this.
Oh, come on, Philip. Answer the phone. You better not be sitting on my throne. Oh, hello, Philip. Did you get me a Jules? Fuck me, Philip, that's against the rules. Oh, exaggeration. Phew. Oh, just enough to speak. I've got my dentures in. Just enough to feed a small nation, that'll do. Anyway, they're under starter's orders. And they're off. Oh, bollocks. The fucking thing has stumbled out the stalls. I actually thought he was going to fall. Come on, Listy, give it your all. Get lucky. Who's this bastard useless jockey? He's getting boxed in on the blasted rails. Does he know it's off with his head if he fucking fails? I so want to win the sodding derby, but from there he can hardly... Philip, did you place the bet on credit? Good, we can deny you ever said it. Good, oh, hang on. He's making ground. He's looking classy. You'd think he's pursued by the paparazzi. Oh, the jockey's fallen off the leader. Serves him right, the short-ass bleeder. Go on, Listy, go on. You can do it. Oh, Philip, we're back in the hunt. Oh, my God, he's at the front. I'm glad we had that hefty punt. Oh, go on, boy, keep going. We've done it. We've done it. One's won the derby. It's time to have a fucking party. Thank goodness for my lucky charm. Stick that up your arse, the Aga Khan. What? What do you mean, a Stuart inquiry? I'm the fucking Queen. They'll all admire me. The result will stand. They wouldn't dare. We won the race fair and square. They wouldn't. Oh, shit. Shit, and poo. What? I'm the Queen. I'll swear if I want to. Philip!
Thank you very much. So yeah, a bit different, but I do like doing my impression of the Queen, which is admittedly awful, but that's part of the fun. Right, next one, slight change of tempo, because that's where the break was going to be. So yeah, so you'll probably notice the change of tempo here. And this one, well, not always, but for a long time, I've wanted to write one of those poems that uses only one vowel. A univocalism, do-da, what's it, whatever they call it. And this is the nearest I'm ever going to get, I think, and it's called Oh Wow. Oh wow, look, Don lost. Cool, Bojo's Oppo, loony Don. Not won, lost. Bug off, Don, no room for fools. So go, bro, dollop of poo. Go to school, or look for books to borrow. Bollocks to Don, bollocks to Bojo. ROFL, goons. Look, God only knows how or why Bojo won. Follow Don, go on, Shoe Johnson. Son of moron, poppycock clot, horror plot, floppy top tosspot. Thank you. Yeah, my love of our Prime Minister was definitely shown there. Right, the next one is called The Bigger Issues, and I don't think there's anything I need to explain in this one, except no, definitely not. Right, okay. So some people seek answers to big issues like the meaning of life or what happens to us when we die. To them, my issues are small fry, insignificant in the scheme of things, and I have to confess that stings, because I may not be intellectual, my grey cells are somewhat ineffectual when deep thought is deemed essential. But to me, the small things matter more. Like, what are wasps actually for? They get mildly angry and it's all out war. You try to repel them and they sting you to fuck. Then they do it one more time for luck. They show no compassion, not one little bit. The barbarous, pointless, stripy shits. Now, when I want to appear clever, I step it up a level and ask questions like, if music be the food of love, are cheese quavers an aphrodisiac? Is there such a thing as cheese semi-quavers to give you a quick thrill? If so, toss one my way, if you will, because on the subject of food, does a fruit fly count as one of your 5 a day? I have my dates, but if it does, I can ditch the sprouts, because they're not veggies. It's a well-known fact. They are Beelzebub's scrotal sack. And it's not just food that fascinates me. Other things I need to know include, is a really hard Englishman in Australia called a pomegranate? If I wrote a book on the history of censorship, would they ban it? Is David Icke for real, goddammit? If a group of crows didn't mean to get together, are they a manslaughter? Do water polo players ride seahorses? Are you lot bored stiff, or is it rigor mortis? If you buy a wok on the internet, is it an Ewok? And when it arrives, are you in for a shock? And here's the thing, will the first non-binary monarch be called Their Majesty the Queen? And when they assess the age of a dinosaur fossil, is it even remotely possible to know if it used anti-aging creams? Calculations could go all to hell if it used those products by L'Oreal. But the question that concerns me most may come as a surprise. If you stick your head down the toilet, which is not very wise, do you get floaters in your eyes? Thank you very much. As regards the floaters in your eyes thing, I don't know whether it's true or not, but I'm not going to try it. So the next one I'm going to do is actually a shorter version of a poem that's about 5 or 6 minutes long, because it covers the entire alphabet. And it was going down really well. People were really liking it. And I thought, okay, I've got to get this down to 3 minutes to do it in slams. So this is the, whatever you want to call it, the match of the day edited highlights version, or the 3-minute slam version, or the shit bits taken out version, whichever you prefer. And it's the A to Z of animals, but with some letters missing. Aardvark appears ahead of absolutely all else, the apex of alphabetical arrangement. Some alternative animals are agitated, acrimonious, or even apoplectic, although a few are actually ambivalent. Conversely, cats are casually content because they can't comprehend or care about concepts categorizing creatures, as they carelessly claw chunks from the cutis of Clarissa. Dogs demand different definitions. Don't dare diss Dalmatians or Dobermans. Doing them down is downright dangerous. Dallying with disaster, dicing with death. Don't do it. Foxes are furious, forever affiliated with fake facts, thanks to that fascist fart's favourite fuckwittery flinging fecal fiction factory, Fox News. They feel fully fucked over by fate. Giraffes go gazing over gigantic gates, getting glimpses of gloriously gorgeous greenery. Grandma giraffes gasp and go gaga for glamorous Gary, the great ginormous gigolo of giraffedom. Impalas, iguanas, idle rhyme in iambic lines, in fact, immensely incompatible. It's irrational imagining interspecies intercourse. Idiotic idea. Jellyfish just take joy in jeopardizing enjoyment of jolly seaside jaunts. Jackass jerks. Jeez, jellyfish just... Kangaroos can kick in a kerfuffle. Kevin was killed by a king-sized kangaroo, keeled over after a kick in the knackers. Probably karma. Kevin was a knucklehead. Ocelots oscillate between outrageously obnoxious and out-and-out ordinary. Only occasionally observably obvious, one once openly organised ocelot orgies in zoos near Oldham and Ormskirk. Q. Quagga, Quetzal, Quokka. Christ almighty, quite a quandary. Quality over quantity, quickly quashing Q. Squirrels are stupid. Cyril the squirrel sometimes seems sensible, then says something silly, suggesting some sort of shortcoming in syntactical skills and substandard schooling. The trump, tangerine textured tosspot, totally tactless toxic tyrant, timber brain, temper tantrum trendsetter to the terrible twos, trashy tramp. Upoopa epops, upoopa upoopa, use super duper pooper scooper. Undeniably unique. Yaks of yesteryear yearn to learn to yodel. Yes, efforts yielded tiny yaps and yelps that travelled yards, yet yaks are yet to yodel. Young yaks do yoga instead. Zebras are stripy, not zigzagged. Zoom in on Zelda driving a Zephyr, zipping away from the zoo. Zelda's sister, Zoe Zebra, zonked out, catching Zeds. Zzz. Thank you very much. And right, we come to the final poem, which I actually did on the open mic here the first time I came, and it went down rather well. And as the theme is satire, I thought it would be stupid not to do it again. So yeah, this is called Disciple, or it's also alternatively known as the tinfoil hat poem. And just one mention here, because I forgot to mention it when I mentioned him before, but David Icke is a well-known British nutcase, conspiracy theorist. He started out as a footballer, failed at that, so he became a pundit. He failed at that, so he became the son of God. He failed at that, so then he became a snowplow or something like that. And now he just makes his living by talking bullshit on YouTube until he got banned. So that's who David Icke is, in case you're wondering. And yeah, this is called Disciple, or the Tinfoil Hat Poem. And when this event is over, I want you all to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Yeah, it's not for poetry. That's the conventional side of me, the one who has no devotees. On YouTube, I am different. The sheer power of my preaching will leave your senses sleeping. Your judgment will be compromised. You will find yourself being hypnotized into following like sheep, and you will worship at my feet, feeding into my deceit as I fill your mind with false belief. How the virus is a hoax, and all the doctors and professors have sold you a lie to give the government an alibi. And you won't be hard to coax to give me money for my research into how the mask is stealing freedom like some kind of cultist church. So expose the government agenda, expose that rogue Bill Gates, burn down all the 5G masks, stand side by side with fascist hate, burn the masks and breathe the air. Speak your truth, the state, beware. They're poisoning the water, you know. Each litre from the tap contains 5 drops of muslin, which starves your brain of oxygen and makes you believe what's good for them. Only this special water, purified in my factory, can protect you from this tyranny. So expose the government agenda, expose that rogue Bill Gates, burn down all the 5G masks, stand side by side with fascist hate, burn the masks and breathe the air. Speak your truth, the state, beware, and buy this pure water, just £5 a bottle. Your confidence respected. Wake up to the tyranny, all major credit cards accepted. David Icke endorses this. Yes, David Icke endorses this. The David Icke. It's an offer that's too good to miss. So get rid of oppressive masks and in the taste of freedom bask. Protect loved ones with these special natural pills. They may look like simple aspirin, but they can cure all ills. No poison from Big Pharma. No side effects, no drama. No need to feel dejected because all major credit cards accepted. So expose the government agenda. Expose that rogue Bill Gates. Burn down all the 5G masks. Stand side by side with fascist hate. Burn the masks and breathe the air. Speak your truth. The state, beware. Reject the narrative they feed you, the lies the government need you to believe. To cut the strings that control you, this is what you have to do. For just £300, we can enroll you on our online course to make you wise, called How to Fight Establishment Lies. We will take these tyrants by surprise. Just £300, no applicant rejected, and all major credit cards accepted. So expose the government agenda, expose that rogue Bill Gates, burn down all the 5G masks, stand side by side with fascist hate, burn the masks and breathe the air. Speak your truth, the state, beware. And I will be grateful for all that you can spare. Freedom! Thank you very much. So, yeah, if you enjoyed that, my book is available from all the usual places. It's called It Could Be Verse. If you didn't enjoy that, then my book is still available from all the usual places, including Amazon and all that. And you could always buy it as a Christmas present for your enemies, and then, inflict it on them, and then everyone's a winner, including me. So, thank you very much for listening, and thank you, David, for having me.